What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the CombatCast. So today I want to talk about one of the fighters who will be competing at the BKFC Thailand 5 card, specifically Chaloemporn Sawatsuk, also known as Kontualai, whose nickname in Thai means man whose body is full of markings. Now, he got this nickname because his body is actually full of tattoos. His tattoos actually span to the top of his head. Now, I've known Kontualai since about 2019 from watching his fights on the weekly program MX Muay Extreme, which was like a Muay Thai show where they used small gloves. To my knowledge, it was one of the first Muay Thai shows that used small gloves. At the time, it was literally unheard of. It was 3-round fights, and it emphasized constant action. And Kontualai was one of those bigger guys. And yeah, he was a fun fighter to watch for sure. And yeah, and so I saw one of Nick Chapman's earlier fight cards for Kontualai when he first made his debut on BKFC Thailand, which was BKFC Thailand 3, September 3rd, 2022. He fought Dominic Ani from the US, which he won by doctor stoppage. So what it said on Kontualai's profile, I'm going to read it directly from Facebook. Kontualai Chaloemporn Sawatsuk is a fighter in every sense of the word. He served a long time in prison, where he earned acclaim through fighting his way through his sentence on the prison's fight team. Outside of prison, Sawatsuk, tattooed from head to toe, has 115 professional fights across Muay Thai and boxing, earning the WBC Asia Light Heavyweight and ABF Asia Welterweight titles. Along with his fighting career, he has also starred in the critically acclaimed movie A Prayer Before Dawn, a biographic film about life in Thailand's prisons. So yeah, about A Prayer Before Dawn, it's actually a real life movie about an English man who came to Thailand and he gets arrested for possession of drugs, but he eventually gets out through competing in Muay Thai. Now, having heard Kontualai's life story as well, I feel like the movie A Prayer Before Dawn is also reflective of Kontualai's life. Because yeah, Nick Chapman does say Kontualai has served a prison sentence, alright? But what few people don't realize is that how much prison had an effect on him. So the other day I was browsing through YouTube, okay? I wasn't looking for any video in particular, and I come across a piece from Amarin TV from their segment called Vaccine TV. It was a piece about Kontualai and his journey to greatness, so to speak. Now, according to Kontualai himself, he started fighting in Muay Thai at the age of 9, and by all accounts, he was a dedicated student of the sport. So after school, when all the kids would go play and do all the stuff little kids would do, Kontualai himself would go to the gym and do his training. However, when he turned 15, at that, that certain point of our life, Kontualai fell in with a certain group of people, and he started smoking cigarettes, he started doing drugs, peer pressure, all that stuff. And not only was he doing drugs, he was also selling drugs. And then that's when, his life started taking the wrong turn. Now, at the age of 19, that's when things went really dark for him. So according to Kontualai, he went to supply some drugs for this drug dealer. However, this dealer basically stiffed him of his money. He didn't pay him. Now, of course, if someone doesn't pay you for a service, you're bound to get mad, right? So yeah, Kontualai was mad he didn't get his payment. And things got heated, and according to Kontualai, he took the dealer's gun and shot him. So yeah, and he was arrested right away. And initially, he was sentenced to death. However, due to his confession of the crime, this was reduced to a life sentence in prison. And then the next part is what really got me, though. His mom would always visit him in prison. And before leaving, she would always ask him this one question: when will you come home? And this part, it really tore my heart, because you're talking about a guy who's serving a life sentence in prison, you know? Like, Kontualai himself wouldn't even have an answer to that question. He doesn't even know how to answer his mom's question. But then, he was transferred to a prison in the Pathum Thani province, which had a boxing program. And I think one of the directors saw his fighting background and basically comes up to him and says, "Do you really want to spend the rest of your life in here? Don't you want to go see the world outside? Everything has changed, you know, the world is changing. Don't you want to go see what it's like?" And that's when he decided to give fighting another try. So he comes and trains in boxing, okay? And he starts competing in prison boxing tournaments and competitions. And he's winning. And finally, boxing gives him a sense of purpose. It gives him hope that maybe one day he'll be a free man. And this is where things start to look up. And eventually, from just fighting into prison, he's actually, at one point, he's actually granted permission to go fight at a shopping center called Future Park Rangsit. Yeah. And this part which he says, like, he gets to meet his family for the first time without having to see them from behind bars, also touches my heart. And it's also at that moment where he says he went to go pay respects to his mom. So he grapao, so basically he bows to his mother's feet as a sign of respect to your parents in Thai culture. And he asked her this one question, and I saw in that video from Amarin TV, he was like, almost on the verge of tears. Like, he asked his mom this question, okay? He was like, "Mom, are you ashamed of me? Are you ashamed of having a son like me, a son who's a convict?" Her answer is just like, man, it defines, it epitomizes, unconditional love. She said, "Son, no matter how bad you are, no matter how cruel you are still my son." So essentially, no, she is not ashamed. And so, yeah, and it's her words that push Kontualai to become a better person, to keep on fighting in hopes that one day he will be released from prison. Now, eventually, according to him, he served 13 years and 6 months in prison in total, but he was granted a parole for good behavior. And he starts fighting professionally. Well, I mean, I believe he has been fighting professionally even from within the prison walls. He won 2 boxing titles, the Asian Boxing Federation Welterweight Championship and the WBC Asia Silver Light Heavyweight Championship. However, when he's like officially a free man, when his prison sentence ends, I think, after the 13 years and 6 months, because he's granted parole before that, promoters are hesitant to sign him because, you know, because he is an ex-convict, you know, and they actually hurl insults at him. They're like, this ex-con, this prison fighter, man, this guy's gonna amount to nothing. He's just gonna go straight back to prison. And during that time, it was during the pandemic. The pandemic had just started, so like a lot of guys weren't willing to sign him. They weren't willing to invest in him. And I mean, it sucks, but like it's understandable, because you look at Kontualai, you take first look at him, and he's a person that, you know, from his physical appearance, if you're a parent and you have a kid, you would not want your kid to go within close proximity to him just based on his physical appearance. However, you should never judge a book by its cover. And that's when things take another turn for Kontualai. So he's not getting fights. People are unwilling to sign him. They just hurl these like insults at him, calling him ex-con, prison fighter, all that jazz. And he starts using again, spiraling out of control, until he meets his current girlfriend, now wife, Ja. And Kontualai, he's basically like, he's desperate for help now, and Ja helps him get through drug addiction. He said that whenever he experienced withdrawal symptoms, Ja would actually take him to the bathroom, lock themselves in there, and she would play him clips of his boxing and Muay Thai fights, and she would tell him, you look at the screen, this is you. You know who that is? This is you. And I think that was very nice of her. That was very kind of her. She was supportive. And hearing of what she sacrificed to like be with Kontualai, it's very noble of her. She used to be a sales rep for Mercedes-Benz in Thailand, so she was earning 50,000 to 10,000 to 100,000 Thai baht. This is the conversion in US dollars. So yeah, and finally, after Kontualai, you know, he's finally free from the grip of drug addiction. Ja, who knew some people in the fighting industry, she was able to get into contact with those people and helped Kontualai get fights. And yeah, beginning in 2022, he was able to resume fighting like on a regular basis again, both in boxing, both in Muay Thai. And yeah, sure, he's not like always winning, but hey, the good part of all this is at least he's getting fights. At least he's getting to showcase his skills on the big stage. And, you know, for me, I'm glad that he's I'm sorry, I'm getting my words mixed up again. I'm happy that he's overcome all that adversity, you know. Few people can overcome that much adversity, and, you know, if, you know, you look at the whole thing, he's fallen down like twice, okay? First is his murder charge, which led to him going to prison. And like at first he was like, he resigned himself to his fate until he met that prison director who convinced him to try boxing. And then the second time, after his release from prison, he wasn't getting promoters or sponsors, and so he just spiraled back into drug addiction. His wife, Ja, helped him overcome that. So, พี่จ๋าครับ if you're watching this ถ้าพี่กำลังดูวิดีโอนี้อยู่นะครับ ผมก็ขอบคุณพี่นะครับที่ช่วย PM. So yeah, and most recently, M. Kontualai fought on Rise 171 for the vacant Rise Light Heavyweight Championship against Kenta Nabara. Now, he lost, but hey, look, he's 35 years old, I think. 34, 35 years old. But anyways, at that age, most would consider it to be the twilight of a fighter's career. But I think M Kontualai is just getting started, you know? I think he's still in good fighting shape, all things considered. I mean, come on. He's got that teddy bear plush shape going on. But what I'm trying to say is, he's done a lot of things a lot of Thai boxers, many, if not all, Thai boxers have failed to do. Win titles at like the heavier weight classes. Him winning the WBC Asia light heavyweight title is an accomplishment, okay? And most impressive is the fact that he won it on foreign soil. He won it in a fight in Papua New Guinea. And now, rumor has it that he was expected to lose the fight. He was being used as cannon fodder for the fight. But no, man. He upset everyone and he won that title. He beat his opponent and he won that title. And man, am I happy for one as a former boxing enthusiast. And yeah. And most recently in Muay Thai, he fought on MX Muay Extreme during its short stint in Phuket. And he won the 94 kilogram belt. 94 kilograms being this many pounds, I think. But yeah, so this is basically the story of what M Kontualai Chaloemporn Sawatsuk had to overcome, you know, before making it to the stage, before soon to be fighting on BKFC Thailand 5, facing Kaivan Soleimani. So, come November 4th, 2023, at Pattaya, I will be sitting ringside, and I, for one, will be cheering my heart out for Chaloemporn Sawatsuk, aka M Kontualai, as he faces Kaivan Soleimani. And I am confident that he can win this fight because hell, this guy has been through literal hell before. And this is just another walk in the park for him. And if he wins the Soleimani fight, I'll be damned if he doesn't get a title shot against Sirimongkol Singmanasak, BKFC Thailand Light Heavyweight Champion. Yes, you heard it here first. So yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention, there was also like a final part to his video where he meets his daughters, you know, after a long time, you know. He had 3 daughters from previous wives, and like, I guess he was absent for most of their life, mostly due to his prison sentence. And he goes up to them and he's saying in a separate segment, he was like, at first I was so hesitant to go up to them. I was so scared they would be embarrassed of seeing me because I was not the best father. But like, and like, he says, like in one half of the screen, just as the other half of the screen shows the recording of him going to meet his daughter, he said like, but my daughter just comes up to me and hugs me. And yeah, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah, I think she was working as a cashier at Tesco Lotus. She just comes up to him and just gives him a big hug. And it was just so heart-touching. And again, the question he asked next to his daughter, it almost brings tears to my eyes. And he's like, he asked her, are you ashamed of having a father like me? Of having a father who was an ex-convict? And she's like, no, I'm not ashamed. Because ultimately, you're my father, you're my dad. And that's like, God, man. This is like unconditional love. Like, and you gotta feel good for M Kontualai after all of the stuff he's been through. So yeah, I don't know, I'm getting teary-eyed. So yeah, I will definitely link the video below from Amarin TV. It's in Thai though, mind you. But man, it's too good to miss out on. I loved it. It's so wholesome to watch. And yeah. And yes, I repeat again, I will be cheering my heart out for M Kontualai. So, I hope he beats Kaivan Soleimani. No. I know he will beat Kaivan Soleimani, and he will challenge Chaloemporn Sawatsuk for the BKFC Thailand Light Heavyweight Championship. Yeah. So I guess that about wraps it up for today. And if you've made it this far, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And if you're still watching now, I wish you all a good morning, good afternoon, and good evening.